Hello, it's Roger Bisbee here from Skill Builder, and I've just come up to pay my weekly visit to James King. He's still working on extension, and luckily he's found a nice dry spot indoors on this horrible day. Hello James, how you doing?
Hello mate, yeah, not too bad.
What are you up to?
Door hanging.
Oh right.
Trying to get the building secure now.
Okay, so this is one side door, is it?
Yeah, just for the side access.
This isn't these two
no, this is a pair of French doors, this one.
Okay, all right. Okay, so let's have a look what you're doing.
I've routed in the faceplate, that's the first part. Second part, I've now got to route in the back bar, the actual one that moves up and down.
I know, yes.
That works with the gearing.
How does that work out, that lock, with the rails?
It doesn't really. Probably actually works out in the correct position because it's not, if it was mortise and tenon, it's a dowel door, this one.
Oh, okay.
But if it was so even for a dowel door, if you're drilling all that lot out, you're just going to weaken the door. So in fact, it's come up a bit higher.
It's better.
It partly goes into it, but you know, they're pretty much set at 1 metre as a standard handle height. So there's a little bit of play moving it up and down, but if I start adjusting it too much, I'm going to lose the holes for fixing the plates.
Gotcha,
So I've got to pretty much
it goes where it goes.
Yeah,
you've got to make sure that you've got enough depth. To get that, and it's not coming so that it compromises your rail.
That's it. I ordered a setup a couple of days ago, which are going to be for the French doors, and they arrived down there in the box. I guess you can see that totally bent up. The delivery driver obviously stood on them in the back of the van. So that was the first one I was going to do, but because that was the last set they had in stock and I couldn't find anywhere else, I thought I'll get on with the side door, and I ordered up just a single one for it. So I haven't had a chance to have a look at it and get my head around it yet. So this is a first one for me and for you watching it.
Oh yeah, the Makita, I remember that. What happened there?
It's the switch handle that was actually hanging off. Yeah, we took these two screws off. The bolt was still in there, and there was nothing snapped on there, so straight away we knew we could fix it.
Basically on the vibration.
Yeah, but I don't know how it came out, because we had to take this casing off here as well. And then it sort of slots down and fits into a little cam bit in there, and then bolted it back in. Loctite.
Oh, you put some Loctite on?
Yeah, we took it apart after you suggested it, so I put a bit on there, put that back on, put that casing back on, and it's good as new.
It could only have been vibration.
Yeah,
it was never bashed, I knew that.
This one was a little bit, just very slightly, had a little wobble on it, so we did the same again, took it apart, took the nut out, a bit Loctite.
And we actually got a comment from somebody to say theirs had done the same, so I think it's a bit of a fault with that particular router.
Yeah, it must just.
But other than that, not a bad router, really.
No. Do you want it back now?
No, I think you deserve it, mate. You've done the work now.
Oh, thank you very much. Got 3 routers on this job.
Blimey. Festool?
Festool, a Trend, and a Makita.
Oh, that Trend, is that with a jig? Did you get that?
No, I bought it specifically for using with the skeleton hinge jig, just because it's nice and light. It's got the right bush guide for it.
Yeah, I know.
They just sell all the gear with it, so I just keep that. That is just solely for cutting hinges. That one.
So where's Ian today?
He had to go to the hospital, ingrowing toenail.
So he had to actually go along.
He's had to go there, have his toe pretty much opened up, cut down the side of it, remove part of the root, take the side of the nail out. He actually had it done about 2 years ago on both of his big toes.
And they grew back again.
It's come back again.
Oh blimey! Couldn't you have done it for him?
Well, I could have given it a go. I mean, you know, I've got enough tools. They're just not sharp enough.
Oh, this is just for the back rail.
Give it a little bit more than it needs, just so it's got room to
move in there.
This little T15 you gave to us in the box for the cordless TS55, which worked really well, by the way. Thank you. One of the batteries was the 14.4, and there's nothing wrong with it. So
okay,
it works a treat.
Oh, okay. So you're down to one one battery. I didn't give you any battery.
There was
did I?
two batteries in there. One, the 18 volt was knackered, it won't
that's
charge,
it, yeah.
and the 14.4 fits on here, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Okay.
So
I know,
this
you've got to re-break the ends, haven't you? Top and bottom.
yeah, and I've got to make that fit in there somehow. So I'm going to use that as a reference point for when I take this out and lay it on its side. That's my spindle. I'll do the same on the other side. A little bit tight because there's a split pin there. It's going to be right in the way. I'm going to go 25. It's just slightly over. Not only have you got that circlip, you've got a little sprung washer behind it as well, which is slightly raised, and I just don't want any interference. I'll put a bit of tape on it.
Some people would say that there's too much red tape in the building industry. What do you think?
Take that bit out of a nice sharp chisel. Thanks, Ian.
While you're in hospital, Ian, we're trashing your chisels.
I'm not even using a hammer on it, I'm using the back of my hand. That's how much I like it. See that? He looks after them.
By never using them.
A little bit bigger than we need, but we don't want to make it too tight. It's a nightmare trying to push those Euro locks through. So I can use my reference mark I had earlier, my little star, to line that up. Little tap. But I made a little route out for that, but just one little circle.
Oh, it's
I need to elongate
it's
it.
got to elongate them, yeah, okay.
Okay, so I just need to take that out and do them. And without an instruction manual, it makes it a little bit difficult. They do have, there is an online instruction manual, but it's, well, it sort of covers more than one type of this thing. So if you're using this one or the UPVC version, and I think it's more just how to put it together and make it work, not necessarily how to cut the door out. Okay, so this is just the trial fit. Make sure everything's operational, that everything's clear to move. We know that nothing's going to snag on it anymore. So what we do now is good practice. Once we've fitted it and make sure it works, we'll take it apart. We'll paint behind the entire lock face, everything we've routed out. Just because it's an external door, we don't want any moisture content to get in there and ruin the door after all this hard work that's gone onto it. You know, we just want to make sure that we're covering all our bases.
Oh,
the
yeah.
latch and the lock, the two hook lock parts, and then you've got a piece in the top and the bottom for the chute bolts. That's basically it now. We're going to hang the door, just get the keep set up and give it a go. It's my first ever attempt at doing this. He didn't go too bad. He was all right. I think take your time, keep marking, keep offering up the lock itself to the door, keep checking your marks, and you can't really go wrong as long as you've got that piece that you can keep offering up and a reference point like we marked earlier across this star. As long as you've got something like that, you can keep coming back to it every time. You should be fine.
That's it. That's lovely, mate. We've done it.
Oh.